Hello everyone, welcome back to another Halo Wars video. I know it's been a week since I've done a video. I'm very sorry about that, guys. The honest truth of the matter is my HDB PVR broke. I had to order a new one, and also it took me a while to set it back up, and I just been really crazy busy. But anyways, we are not here to talk about what happened. I just thought you guys deserve to know why I haven't been doing my daily uploads. I'm back to daily uploads. I'm going to keep doing them again. Don't worry. So we're going to start things off with a Thursday theory, which, by the way, it's not Thursday, but I kind of missed this week, and I was really looking forward to doing the Thursday theory because I've already done Anders and I've already done Cutter. So here is the Forge theory, guys. This is finally the one that everybody's been wanting me to do, and I'm quite excited to do this one. First thing I'm going to say right here, right now, guys, is it is not repository. I want you guys to imagine that this is not repository, and it doesn't matter what map I was to do this on. To try and prove the theory, Forge is the hardest to explain the theory because every scenario would be quite different. So I figured the easiest way for me to explain the theory so that you'd know what to do in any scenario is to do this on this map and show you something cool. Okay, now this build is really awesome, guys, but I'm going to let you know right now, it's not something you want to do. So before I get that message, don't do this build, okay? On an unsuspecting victim, they'll get crushed, and even against a high-level player, if they don't see it, they will get crushed. But it's not something you should do because it's very risky. But this does explain the theory, and so that is why I'm showing this. So here it is, guys. We talked about Anders' theory, and Anders' theory was all about the more upgrades you get, the more money she gets. And that's how she becomes useful. Cutter theory was all about how many units you can get and how quick you can get them and utilizing your early money advantage. Without using your early money advantage, you really don't have an advantage as Cutter. You can't count an elephant as an advantage only in some scenarios. And, you know, ODST you're not going to get, and your Mac can be useful, but a carpet can be just as useful sometimes. But anyways, enough of that. Here we go, guys. The Forge theory is... Can we get a drum roll, please? Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, this is me losing my Warthog like a champ, like I always do in every video. It's kind of my signature. Watch that awesome micro, man. Okay, here we go, guys. You guys ready? You're all excited. I know you are. The Forge theory is... tech advantage or unit advantage. You're like, what? How can it be the same as Cutter and Anders? That's not true at all. Okay? All three of the UNSCs are completely different. Forge, what I mean by that is, Forge has heavy supply pads. This is his only advantage than any other UNSC. Now, in order to use his heavy supply pad advantage, he has to use his rich money as quickly as possible to do something that the other UNSCs cannot do, or get a certain unit that they cannot get. So what I mean by that is, in this particular build, what I'm going to do here is, and I'm not really going to spoil it, is, for example, like let's say you're playing Docs, or you're playing Repository here, and you know you're trying to match a Cutter. On Repository you could do that with a click expand, no problem. But you need to go a tech early. So for example, most people, in fact a lot of people, make this mistake because they don't know this theory. They think that they can put 2 vehicle depots up as Forge and double pump tanks. You know what? That's true. You can double pump tanks. Okay? But if you do that, you take away your advantage. And that doesn't follow the theory. You'll just keep wasting more money. You'll get more tanks, but you won't be able to upgrade. You have an overstock of money. Okay? Now if you'll notice what I'm doing here is, I've already put up 3rd tech. See? Now why did I do that? Because I'm going to go canister shell first. Now that doesn't mean to follow this theory you've got to go canister shell first. But what it does in fact mean is that you got to use upgrades early. Now it's not the same concept where Anders, because she doesn't save money that way. But you're using money to get this advantage. You can afford to down tech all your reactors. You can afford to do this because you have heavy supply pads. So if you notice, I'll be booming right straight to 4th tech. And the reason for that is, guys, I know that they can't get power turret this early. So I know I can't match them in tanks. Let's remember it. Let's ignore its repository. I know I can't match them in units. If I know that I can't match them in units, my scenario has to tell me I can't match them in units, so I have to out-tech them. This is a 1v1 concept as well. All 1v1 players, good ones, will tell you the same thing. If they're taking an eco advantage, you have to take a tech advantage. If they're taking a tech advantage, you have to take a unit advantage or some kind of money advantage. It's a vicious cycle. So I know I can't outmatch a cutter in tanks until I get to a certain point, but I can out-tech a cutter. Now, if I out-tech this cutter, which I'm doing right now, I'm going for an early power turret. But what am I going to do? Instead of triple pumping tanks, I'm also going to go one up. Yes, I followed my theory by getting crazy early upgraded tanks, but I'm also going to get Spartans. This is something a cutter can't do because they struggle to get power turret and struggle to get their tank numbers up. Forge can get early power turret and get tanks and get Spartans at the same time because of the heavy supply pads. What did I just do? Nothing really amazing, but I followed the Forge theory of using my money. That doesn't mean spamming all these units to use all your money and waste your money. You use your money to get the tech advantage that you need, or the unit advantage that you need, whether it be Cobras or Vultures or whatever the case. You use your money to get the advantage you need. If you'll notice, I'm down teching all the way to second tech. You know why that is? Everybody would say that's stupid. But now with Forge, this allows me to get crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And with Forge, my units are now spammable because I'm rich, and my tech is also spammable. Plus, I don't want 4 individual reactors. I'd rather have an advanced reactor at this stage in the game. If you'll notice, it's 610. Well, not 610, but 650. I have a power turret Spartan tank, but I'm also double pumping, and I have Spartans. I don't care who you are. You're not going to have that as quick as you have it. So ignore the fact that it's this map, like I say. But on this map, if you did do this and you got away with it, say goodnight to your opponents because they're done. But I hope that this theory has enlightened you guys. Like, really, it's that simple in this game to think about it. Forge, just go for a tech advantage. So just for an example, if you're on I don't know, a terminal moraine, for example, or a crevice, for example, and you're wondering what to do, and that's how you mac a pelican, get destroyed. But anyways, guys, so yeah, let's say you're on terminal or crevice or something, and you're Forge, and you're like, oh man, he's got a tank on the field already. I mean, what do I do? What do I do? The answer is actually very simple. If you try to go tanks when they already have tanks on the field, you're always going to be behind, even with the money. So you have to say to yourself, very simply, very simple, either you get Cobras or you get Spartans with your tanks or something to compensate the unit imbalance that you have, or you upgrade earlier. So if they have a tank in the field, more than likely you'll probably see me do an early reactor of some kind, even if I go reactor first, for an example, because I need to do that. I need to take that advantage. If I don't do this, I'll fail. I am Forge. I am Moneybags. I'm a pimp. You have to keep your pimp hand strong with Forge. And the only way, I hope that doesn't offensive to people, but the only way you can do that is to use your money, and not just in a spamming form. I mean, you can even go Goss with Forge, and that's cool and everything, but just going Goss with Forge is never enough. I see a lot of people go Goss with Forge, but they neglect to upgrade other units at the same time while going Goss. And then all of a sudden the situation arises where they need tanks, but they can't go tanks now. If you're going to go Goss with Forge, that's fine. Get Goss, but start upgrading your tanks at the same time. Start upgrading your field armory stuff. You can use your money advantage to even help you when you're going Goss. So think about that. Next time you guys are in a game and you're Forge, and you're playing against a cutter on docks, for example, okay? You know that you cannot match a cutter on docks with with tanks, not without help, and you can hold it if you're very, very, very good. But for the most part, you probably can't. And so that being said, you have to play defense long enough. And when you play defense, like let's say you kill all their tanks, for example, on docks. You're like, oh, I gotta push, I gotta push, I gotta push. No, that would be a big mistake. You should then take your unit advantage that you have and go for your tech advantage, because that's the forged theory. You would go for power turret and wait till you have power turret, because you know a cutter cannot get power turret on docks if he had that many tanks already. So you got to use this theory, guys. Like on Beasley's Plateau, for example. If you're going hogs, and another UNSC is going hogs as well, and he tries to go Gauss, and you go Gauss, but you try to go tanks, and you try to double pump early or something like that, you know what? You could go Spartan tanks earlier, because that would be a unit that they can't have. Like, for example, if there's an Arbiter on your side on Beasley's, you know, most people would just be like, oh, don't build a tank, don't build a tank. But instead on your hook, like you could put up a barracks and a vehicle depot, and you could just get a Spartan tank early, because you're doing something that gives you a unit that they can't have at that time. That is the forged theory. Getting a unit they can't have at that time because they're not rich enough to support that economy downfall. Or some kind of tech advantage, like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope that this explained the theory as well as I wanted to explain it. So, if you guys want more breakdowns on things like reserves and cryo bombs and Mac blasts and all that stuff, like I can on Thursday Theories, I'm gonna be covering that, and I want to know what you guys want to know. I want to do a reserves one for next Thursday. Cover the theory of reserves. This is something that I get asked a lot, and I want to know if you guys want to see it. I'll put it up regardless, but probably not next Thursday if I don't get requests for it, okay? Next Thursday will be something different. I'd also like to say right now, I'd like to give a shout out to the following people. S-Pro Mitch, Bazista, you guys know him as. I know you probably already know who he is. You have to know, but if you don't, go check him out. Kais, go check him out. Very good player, probably one of the very few I respect as a player. Also, he does some pretty genius things himself, I have to admit. So yeah, definitely go check him out. Also, definitely go check out Marco Style, his channel, Marco Style NL. He does some really good 1v1 videos. I would, however, like him to explain to some people who can't learn, like a retard. I'm sorry if that offends people. When you try to explain to people, if you could try and speak dummy to people who don't play ones, like me, I would like you to speak to me and be like, say in your video, like, Smug, this is for the dummies of 1v1, and be like, Smug, this is why you do this, because the grass is bent this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, explain it like that. But he's definitely I'd say he's the best 1v1 player, and I like his humor and I love his videos. You guys need to definitely check him out. Subscribe to him if you haven't already. And let me know what you guys thought of this video, guys. I hope it helps you. It's always helped me. And let me know what you want to see next Thursday Theory. And please comment, rate, subscribe, tell your friends, leave a like. I know I already said that, but I like saying it. Have a great day, guys. Goodbye.
All units.
Suited up. Canister, yes, sir.
All units.
Canister, yes, sir. Target acquired.
All units.
Yes, sir.
All
On
units.
the move.